Welcome back, Gems, to another wonderful episode of the Grateful Gem podcast. I'm your host, Jasmine Shannelle, and today's topic is going to be having one more experience. Stick around because gems are definitely about to get dropped, so get ready. I need everyone listening to this podcast episode to follow us on Instagram at the Grateful Gem Pod and also follow me at Jasmine Shannelle. Don't worry, I spelled everything out and left it in the notes below. Take a look. See you there. Now let's get into this episode. Welcome back, Gems. We are on yet another episode. I'm so glad that you decided to tune in today. I really think that this episode is going to help not only myself, but you. I have been in a season where I'm just mentally and physically drained. And if you're listening to this and you personally know me, you know I said this a few times and it's only getting worse. I'm just being real with you guys. I like to keep it real. To be honest, I wasn't going to post this episode, but God pushed me to different levels and he was like, listen, this is not the time for you to be in a period of distancing, a period of procrastination because of the way you're feeling. I did not create you to be led by your feelings, but to be led by the Spirit. And it really hit me in the chest like a sack of bricks because I was walking the other day. You guys know I was doing my daily routine. I go to the bridges every day after work. So I'm walking and I'm just thinking about all the stuff that I have going on. I'm thinking about, am I really gonna, record an episode? And I was just like, in my mind, I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do it because, like, you guys know, I like to be 100% transparent and let you guys in on how I'm really feeling. So, to be honest, if you notice in the beginning of this episode, I did not say I was so excited. And that's because I'm not. Just keeping it real with you guys. I am not excited about where I am in life right now. But I know that God is calling me to higher and that things will work out in a better sense. And not saying that things will work out because things are working out fine. I'm tired, you guys. I'm physically, mentally drained, and I've been praying. I've been journaling. No, I can honestly say I have not been journaling. And I've been praying, but it hasn't been fervently like I normally do because I feel like I'm praying the same prayers over and over. And I feel like I'm getting nowhere. So I'm just at a place of trying to be motivated. And hopefully this episode not only gives me motivation, but it also gives you motivation if you're needing it. So me and God was having this conversation. And I'm like, so God, let's talk about this episode. And he was like, I gave you a word. I need you to spread it. I need you to record this and let people know what I'm telling you so that they can too get out of a situation that they're in, similar to you. And so I thought about it, and to be honest, I went back and forth. I'm like, but God, I don't record when I feel like this because I don't just want to record something to say that I uploaded an episode or to say that, oh, I got another week out, yay. Because to be honest, I've been doing good with posting every week and I've been in a good mind space. But for some reason, here recently, I just cannot get it together. And I'm just praying for strength through this time. And while I was looking for answers to my prayers and answers to things that I'm just unclear on, God gave me an acronym. And I was like, God, this is so awesome because of our current situation. We're in the house. A lot of us are in the house. Some of us are not. They still have to go to work. I honestly just started working from home. So I feel you guys. I would rather work in office rather than working from home. But, teach his own. And if you guys hear me panting, you guys know I have asthma. My asthma has really been bothering me, not because of the virus, but just in general. Y'all know that. So if you hear me gasping for air, just bear with me because I literally just got done taking a treatment like a few minutes ago. But I want to get this information out to you. So hopefully I have enough wind in me to get this through. So I was walking and God was talking to me and he gave me the acronym of H.O.M.E. And so I'm standing there and I'm thinking, I'm like, wow, this is great. So God was telling me, this is not the time for you to be pushing back while I'm pushing forward. This is the time for you to excel and have one more experience. And I was like, okay. Like, this is awesome because this just correlates with everything that's going on. I'm like, God, this is good. Like, you're right. Have one more experience. What's more experience, And I feel like, yeah, I'm tired. Yeah, I'm drained. But what's one more step? What's one more? And the thing that I always reminded myself of that I've honestly been doing the whole year is thinking, what if I'm literally one more prayer close to a breakthrough? What if I'm one shout closer to a revival? What if I'm one smile away from helping somebody, or one prayer request away from answering someone's prayer that they don't even know I'm praying for them for? I always think about that. So it's like, if this is the last resort and I decide to just give up right now, what does that entail? That entails me prolonging the situation that God had already blessed in the midst of what I'm feeling. And I know that sometimes we look and we think that we can act off of our feelings, and a lot of things are like, follow your heart, how do you feel? But in the natural world, in the kingdom world, we realize that God tells us not to follow our heart, not to listen to our feelings, because our feelings are our heart is led by our feelings, and we don't know what's best for us. So in a time where we feel like God has abandoned us, or God is not listening, or he has blessed everybody else and forgot about you, I want to be the one to remind you that God hears you, and he's reminding you to have this one last experience, because this may be the last experience that's getting you to where you're trying to go. I don't know what it is that you're fighting. I don't know what it is that you're going through, but I do know that God is calling you to stay focused. He's calling you to not be distracted. He's calling you to do so many things that you have the time to do now. We make excuses for why we can't get things done, but in this time, in this hour, God has revealed that we only have time. And I feel like we may not have as much time as the next person, because you may be at home, you may have a whole bunch of kids, or you may have one child. Kids are a handful. You may be at home and you may be working from home, but it's taking up your whole day because you have other things that you need to prioritize, and it's easier for you to, for me, it's easier for me to focus in the office, not at home, because this is my comfort zone. So I'm so uncomfortable having to work from home, because I feel like I'm bringing stress into my home, and I don't like that at all, because today I was all over the place. I'm trying to focus. My bunny rabbit is, oh my gosh, she got on my nerves today. She would not leave me alone. She wanted everything I was eating. She wanted me to pick her up. She wanted to be pet. And I'm like, Lola, you do not normally do this on a normal day. So I don't know why you getting out of pocket today. She was just, I don't know. I think it was just because I was here. She's normally home by herself. Me and my sister was here today. But I was like, girl, go bother my sister. Like, go up front. Get away from me. So I was trying to make sure, and then she was playing in the cords. I'm like, please do not bite on these cords. I need my laptop charger. Please do not touch that. Get off of that. Like, she's so curious. So she realizes that the stuff is in my room that wasn't in here before. It was up front. So when she goes up front, she's looking up front like, is that the stuff that was in your room? Why is it in your room? Like, she's so nosy. But again, I feel like, I'm just, my normal has been disrupted. And I feel like it's not just my normal, it's your normal as well. Because even though you may like working from home, you still may be focusing on things that you couldn't change, being stuck in the house, or not being able to make more time, or not being able to get out the house, or whatever the situation is. I feel like that God is saying today to us that this is an experience, and we have to go through this experience in order to prepare and fully take advantage of where it is that he's taken us. I told you guys in the beginning of the year that this is a clear vision. God gave me that loud and clear. 2020 is a clear vision. I know everybody's on that and everybody's saying that, but it's like, okay, everyone is aware that God is showing us that we have to be paying attention. We can't be focused. We cannot not be focused. This is a year that we need to pay attention. So in this time, you have to ask yourself, okay, I know what God is saying, but what am I doing that lines up with what he's saying? Am I focusing? Am I letting go of things that he told me to let go of? Am I dedicating time to areas that he's called me to dedicate time to? Am I budgeting correctly? Am I spending time with the people he's put on my heart to spend time to? Am I praying for the people that he's asked me to pray for? Am I reaching out to the people that he told me to reach out to? Am I having a positive attitude? Am I being forgiven in unforgiving circumstances? It's the small things that matter. It's not so much of, getting the business started and spending time with family. It's so simple as a mindset change. Are you changing your mindset from negativity to positivity? If that's what God told you to do, what are you doing that every day reflects that? What are you doing that every day you're showing God that you're prepared for where it is that he's going? Because I feel like this year he's taking us to newer levels. And keyword, I said us, because I feel like he's taking you as well. And I don't want you to miss out on what it is that God has for you. I don't want you to miss it this year and have to wait till next year, because that's just stressful in itself, especially when you get to a point that you knew you could have reaped the benefits of what it is that you've sown. So don't reap good benefits or sow good seeds and then get distracted and get off focus and get bombarded with everything that's going on around you, that you don't pay attention to what it is that God told you to do. A lot of you guys, I know that God has told you plenty times, plain and clear, what to do. Last year, God really dealt with me. Last year for me was my pruning season. It wasn't a good season for me because God was revealing things to me that I honestly didn't like. But I stuck true to what it is that he said. My attitude, I've changed my attitude, my mindset. I'm in a different place. My relationships, I'm in a different place. I've let people go. I've added on new friends. I've added on new things. And I'm focusing more on what it is that he's called me to and less more of what I've called myself to. And a lot of times we get focused on stuff that God didn't even place in front of us. They were self-imposed, or other people imposed those items on us, and we took hold and grab of them when God didn't even call us into that area. So I feel like the number one thing that you should do is figure out, remember what God said to you. What did God tell you to do? And how is that going to get you to where he's taking you? For me, it's a lot. God has called me to be a good stewarder, not only over my finances, but over people in general. Be a good stewarder of what I have, the car I have, the job I have, the family I have, because I find myself sometimes honestly being ungrateful for where I am in life, just being honest. Sometimes I get a little hard on myself, and I realize that I could have been well far off had I done things the right way. And as you guys know, that's the reason why I was solely stuck to saying yes to God, because I no longer want to continue to go in circles or wander for time and times out of my life where I could have been succeeding. And I feel like the only way to fully and correctly succeed is with God in the midst of it. He's the foundation. And like I told you guys before, whenever you get confirmation for something, or whenever someone puts something on your heart, make sure that you're sending it to God and that you're letting him know what it is that you're feeling, and then let him confirm that. Then take action. Don't take action, then get confirmation, because I'm telling you, you're going to be in a whirlwind of confusion. You're going to be in a whirlwind of, God, I don't know what I'm doing, or God, can you bless this? And God's going to be like, I didn't even put that in your hand. I'm not blessing something I didn't even call you to do. That's not for you. That's for her, or that's for him. So make sure that where you are is where God is supposed to bless you. Make sure that you're where you're supposed to be. How can God bless you if you're in the wrong place? If he was supposed to bless you on the right side, you was standing on the left, somebody else got your blessing. Or not even somebody else got your blessing, because you're still going to get the blessing. God's a God where you'll get blessed regardless. But you won't reap all of the benefits. And would you rather get blessed 50% or would you rather be blessed 100%? Are you loving this episode? Great. Don't forget to leave your feedback by rating and leaving a review on Apple iTunes. Also, don't forget to subscribe anywhere, wherever you're listening to this podcast. And make sure that you follow us on Instagram to keep up in the know of what's going on with the podcast. Okay, let's get back to the episode. So yes, I definitely highly recommend getting confirmation on what it is that you're taking on right now, because it could very well be the very things that God is calling you to do, and He's just testing you. I really feel like God is just asking me right now, like, are you gonna continue to push through? Because I give you the strength. If you need help, just ask me. If you need strength, ask for it. If you need guidance, I'll make your path clear. So I feel like I'm just like, okay. So I'm clear on what it is I need to do, but I'm unclear on how I get the energy and the motivation to keep moving. And that's where I come back and I think about where He says that you just have to have a mustard seed size of faith. And I think that is awesome, because if you guys know what the size of a mustard seed looks like, if you know how small that is, like, you literally have to believe. That's like believing 2% if you compare that to the size of a mustard seed. As long as you truly believe and truly believe that this will come to pass and God will bless you with this, it is done. It doesn't say how long it's going to take. It doesn't say when it's going to come. So I think we're in a rush. God is not in a rush. We are in a rush. We put time frames on a lot of things that's not supposed to have time frames. We are just called to adhere to what it is that God is telling us to do. So I really think that you have to sit down, hold yourself accountable, confirm what it is that God is telling you, and also get you an accountability partner. Find someone that's going to hold you accountable when you can't hold yourself accountable. My accountability partner, she did really good, because we had a call Sunday, and I honestly wasn't even thinking about our group. We check in with each other all the time, so that's neither here nor there. We check in all the time. So we hadn't had a meetup in like a month, and it didn't feel like a month. It literally felt like we were just together, I guess because we talk all the time, and I normally see her at work and stuff like that. But I was just like, wow, when we were on the call, I looked back at my calendar and I was like, oh my God, it's almost been a month that we've actually met up for our business. And I thought that was crazy, because I'm so overwhelmed and so exhausted that I didn't even think about that. And I was glad that she mentioned it, and I was glad we had a call. And I was just on the call listening to myself talk, and I was just like, I'm winded. Like even in this, you can hear it in my voice. I'm winded, aside from I can't breathe and I'm trying to breathe. But yeah, that's, y'all already know. So, but yeah, you can hear it. Like, I was just like, she was like, what's new? And I told her, I was like, girl, nothing. Like, seriously, nothing is new. And I'm like, I'm a man. I'm doing what God's telling me to do. But the only thing new is I'm tired. And she was like, do you think that God's calling you to let some stuff go? And I told her, I was like, I've already done those things. God told me what to let go, and He replaced those with the steps that I need to do in order to move forward. And like I said, it's not a lot of stuff, but it's just, I think the time frames are what's killing me the most, because it's not something that I could just do this week and then watch the seeds grow next week. It's stuff that I have to do over time. So remembering to actually do this stuff is what's weighing me down. And I'm just like, I just need the strength. Like, I just need the strength. And all this other stuff is going on in the world, and I'm just like, oh, it's not even weighing me. That's not even weighing me down. I'm just annoyed with all this, because it's like, you live your everyday life and you don't think about how your work can really be flipped inside out within a matter of days. I can think about how many people had plans this month, had plans last month, had plans this weekend, and that gets canceled. And I really think that this is just a time that God is calling us to be still, have one more experience, figure out what it is that this experience is telling us, and how we're going to be benefiting from this 2 months or 3 months down the road, because it's not something that's going to turn around within 24 hours. You have to put in the work, you have to be a good steward, and you have to be able to endure the experience and the things that you're reaping. So I really feel like this is a great time for us to just get real, us to just be real with ourselves, get around some real people, find counsel, find something that will keep you motivated, do your affirmations. If you don't follow Think Royalty on Instagram, she has daily affirmations. She posts those all the time. If you need to pick me up or anything like that, she's really good about that. So you will definitely benefit from that. If you need some quotes, get on Pinterest, find you some quotes, tag them, post them, pin them, send them. If you have a lot of girlfriends or people that's in the same predicament that you're in, and you're like, let me just send this quote over, or just a simple good morning, have a great day, I'm praying for you, or I'm asking that God be a light unto your path. The small things go a long way, and we don't realize that because we feel like we have to go outside of our way to do so much. Well, God is really just asking us to have a clean heart. God is just asking us to have a clean heart. And I feel like if we can't have a clean heart, how are we going to really steward over the things that God is calling us to do? Because in order for God to continuously bless us correctly, it starts with your heart. You have to have a clean heart. So think about that. Think about what it is that you can do to be fully prepared for what God has for you. So again, I don't know what you're praying for, but I'll tell you what I'm praying for. So, the first thing that I'm preparing for, like I told you guys last year, God called me to create a budget. So I'm budgeted. I'm doing a realistic savings. I think that's probably the first thing that's really stressing me out, because I took a realistic number and I'm saving that every paycheck. And it's not a large number, you guys. It's literally not. As a matter of fact, I'm going to tell you, it's $7. $7. And I did $7 because 7 is the number of completion. 7 is the number that associates me with God. Again, you guys know I did my 7-day fast. My rent is $777, and I'm saving so that I can buy a house. So I'm saving $7 each paycheck. I have 2 accounts that I'm doing that to. So I've been doing really good, and I'm in a habit to where if I spend anything in this account for whatever reason, not only do I have to put $7 in here, but I also have to put back the amount that I'm spending. And I did this for like 2 paychecks that I did this because it was a fail, and I ended up spending like both of the accounts money. Like, I don't even know how it happened, but I ended up spending like both of those accounts back to zero, and I ended up having to replace it. And I was like, God, I'm spending more money and I'm paying more back, so it's like I'm losing here. So I've been doing really good. I think I have like $85 between both accounts. And I know you guys are like, girl, $85, that ain't nothing, but it's something for me because I don't know what happened. I used to be really, really, really good at saving. Like I told you guys, I saved $6,000 in 2 months when I moved to Atlanta. But at the time I didn't have rent. I was working 2 jobs, I was slaving, and I refused to do that this time. I feel like God is calling me higher, and He's telling me that I don't have to do that. I have all the essentials that I need in front of me to accomplish that same goal. I just have to be disciplined. So I feel like me going to get 2 jobs is the easy way out versus me just learning discipline. So I've been doing that, the $7, I've been doing really good. Like I said, I've put money in those accounts, and I'm like, yay, I'm seeing it grow. And I also am putting money to pay off my line of credit. So I've been doing good with that. And I'm also getting ready to open another savings account also for my home buying process, because I'm going to put more than $7 in this account because I need to be realistic. 7 is just basically like my faith savings, because I believe that God is going to approve this for me this year. I believe that by faith. So that is my faith savings. And then the money that I'm going to have to put down and the closing cost is going to be in a separate account. So you have to separate what it is that you're doing. You have to differentiate what it is that you're looking for, because God needs to know that you're serious. Be disciplined. If you have to have 5, 10, 20 separate savings accounts, do that. If you have to have 10 envelopes, one jewelry box, one piggy bank, do what it is that you need to do to get where God is taking you. Aside from saving money, I'm building my credit. I just got me another credit card, and I refuse to do the worst on this credit card, you guys. I've already set out what I'm going to pay each month with this credit card, what my 30% is, and what bill I'm going to pay, because I feel like if I do a bill, I already have that money, and I could just, instead of paying it cash, I could put it on my credit card, save that money, and put it back later and pay it off. So I decided I'm going to do that, and I have one bill that adds up to like almost 30%, and then I have like the other amount I'm going to put towards gas. So both of those together will put me at exactly 30% on this credit card. So I'm like, okay, boom, got that together. So that's just, both of those things are just discipline. And I'm just sitting here every day looking, I'm like, oh, like these things are nothing that's going to take place and expand by tomorrow. So I have to continuously be diligent with this. And I feel like God is really pushing me, like, come on, you got it started. So what is going to stop you from not achieving this goal? Is it going to be lack of discipline, or is it going to be doubt? And I feel like it's going to be neither. I'm going to do this. So I really am believing this, that it's going to come to pass. So I'm working on building my credit, working on buying me a house, working on saving money. So that's also what I'm doing too with my savings. One of my savings accounts for the $7 is just savings for me. I think I'm going to actually move that up to taking 10% out of my check. So I do 10% to tithe, and I'm probably going to do 10% to myself, $7 to my saving, and then the additional money to my separate savings account for my home buying process, because I just, with all this stuff going on, it's just waking me up that I need to have different money accounts. If I don't have reliable streams of income, I need to have money somewhere, because at the end of the day, we have to be prepared. And I know that God provides, and He blesses what you prepare. So even if I don't have $1 million, I feel like I would rather be better prepared than not prepared at all. And I feel like I want to come out on top of this pandemic disciplined. And I want to talk about that for a second, because I've been seeing a lot of posts on Instagram about, if you didn't come out of this pandemic with this, you like this, and what I feel, in my opinion, and I'm saying it again because I like to give this disclosure, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, I feel like there's no reason that you should not come out on top of something. If you have anxiety, if you're freaking out, if you're doubtful, you should come out fearless. I don't think it's okay for you to sit at home and be freaking out for these next 30 days. I don't wish that on you. And as a matter of fact, I pray that spirit of fear and doubt is removed from you. I pray that you come out in 30 days and say, I have bad anxiety, but God kept me. I really, really was down in that this is going to come out good, but God used me. I pray that whatever you're going through, whatever problems that is keeping you focused on the wrong things right now is removed. That's just what I have to say about that, because it really annoyed me, because when I saw the different ones and people were scratching stuff out like, oh, if you don't come out with anything, you're totally fine. That's not okay. You're not fine. If you, like, this one person was like, oh yeah, it's a pandemic, people are freaking out, you guys need to realize that. And I'm like, we're all freaking out. We don't live this life every day, like our world has really been upside down. But this is a point where it's a matter of your heart. Like I said, your heart. What are you going to do? How are you going to come out on time? You don't have to make a business. No, you don't have to be sitting at home buying stocks and trading stocks and trading, flipping money. No, I'm not saying you have to do that. I feel like you need to figure out what it is that's about. That's like for me, I don't like to be at home working because I'm not focused here. This is my comfort zone. So I feel like in order for me to get focused, I have to get uncomfortable. And that is hard for me because this is my house. I'm comfortable at home. So I'm not comfortable at work. When I'm at work, I'm ready to go home. So I'm like, okay, what do I need to do to get uncomfortable? so that I can focus on what it is, that I need to do. So it's not okay for me to just sit here for the next 30 days and say, oh, I hate being home. I'm just going to pray today that we get back to work. But then my mindset didn't change. My heart didn't change. So what did I learn? I didn't learn anything. And again, this isn't shots at anybody. I understand that if you're going through it right now and you're stressing, but I really just want to ask that you pray and that you ask God to guide you. If you've lost your job or if income isn't the same, I know that it's hard, but think about the other things that has happened in this life, in your life, that God brought you through. Remind yourself that God is able, and no matter what the world says, no matter what society says, He has the last say so. And I feel like that's really getting me through, because regardless of what I'm reading on the internet, what I'm watching on the news, and honestly I don't watch the news because it's depressing. I stopped watching the news a long time ago. It's depressing. I feel like they have a media of fear. They only report bad things. You rarely see a lot of good things on there. So I just stopped watching it, because every time I turn it on, there's somebody getting killed or something kidnapping. And I mean, it's good to be up on the news, but I hear it from everybody else, so I don't need it. The news info without even watching the news, because my sister loves the news, so she tells me about it all the time. And then my family members, they mention it all the time too. So I'm not saying walk around here in this world be ignorant, lack of knowledge, but I'm saying get your knowledge, get your wisdom, get you. So, yeah. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm working on budgeting with all of my different savings accounts. So far, it's been good. I'm working on building my credit. So far, that's been good. I'm just trying to stay on this good journey, trying to save up to buy a house. What else am I doing? I'm focusing more on my businesses. So, as you know, I've been recording more on my podcast, posting more on Instagram, just trying to do different things with this, figure out what works for me, because what works for everybody else doesn't work for me necessarily. So I'm really excited to see how everything turns out. But I have faith that even if I don't succeed with what I think is realistic, I at least try, and I'm not going to stop trying until I get that goal accomplished. So I really hope that you endure this experience, have one more experience, experience God, get to know Him, man, because it's beyond religion. It's about personal. When you get to a level where you can hear God all the time, you are going to just be shaken. You're going to know what's for you and what's not for you, who's for you, who's not. You're going to know what it is that God's telling you off the bat. You're not going to question it. You're going to know. You may not want to hear it. You may not want to know, exactly what He's saying, but you're going to hear it. And I just pray that for you. I pray that you get that experience that you're craving, and that God gives you the energy that you need. I'm also praying that for myself, because I need energy, you guys. I'm tired. After I get off of here, I'm literally finna eat, watch TV, and start all over again tomorrow. Okay? I need a redo. But I'm changing my mindset. Even though I'm tired, I'm mentally drained, physically tired, I still go to the bridges every day. How I do it, I don't know. And I literally told my best friend this today. I don't know how I do this, because I'm so tired. I'm literally tired. Today I thought I wasn't going to make it. But I got up, I got dressed, and I went out there. So don't ever stop chasing your goals. Don't ever stop what it is that God's calling you to, because He is definitely going to get you through. So I hope today was so moving that it really spoke to your heart. Have this experience, and figure out what it is that God is doing in this experience, because this can very well be the last experience for your breakthrough, for your praise dance, for your worship, for that house, for that job, for that man, for them kids, for whatever it is that you're praying for, man. Just believe in God. I definitely want to say thank you for listening, tuning in today. I hope gems will definitely drop, and I hope you didn't miss none. Hopefully you picked some up, but I hope you keep shining as the gems you are, and I will see you on the next episode. Bye.